Have a good day, Pete. Ugh. Okay. So my plan for today, and like, is to have a dog cry behind me. And for the rest of this series is we're kind of going off of vibes. Literally a couple days ago, I was just chatting with my partner about where to put stuff in this apartment while we're here. And they go, I don't know where to put all the figurines, and held up this Skull Kid. And they were standing directly next to the greenhouse, and I was like, put him in there. And then we looked at each other and went, Majora's Mask greenhouse. Majora's Mask greenhouse. Majora's Mask greenhouse. So today is we make the plan. I'm going to make a 3D model to scale of the greenhouse. It's like one of those like $15 ones from IKEA. I can fully take it apart, paint all the white bits, all of that shit. So we're gonna make a 2-scale model of the greenhouse. And we're gonna make some very rudimentary little placeholder assets and kind of decide on how we want to lay things out. I need like a mouse highlighter for this series, I guess. Welcome to episode 1 of Majora's Greenhouse. But the very first little overview is this white needs to be painted. Thank you, Clover. This needs to be black or dark green. From what I remember when I purchased this with my beloved sister for my birthday, like this was like 8 years ago. IKEA only had them in white when we went in person, and so it has been white. It needs to not be white. I think at the very bottom we are going to cut out vinyl stickers on my Cricut and make it look like foliage, like big leaves and fronds and shit, and then we're going to hand paint that and then put it on all 4 sides, maybe just 3. I will probably do an illustration of this and run it by Forte, but my idea is, because there's always going to be 2 plants in here for the most part. The philodendron can't leave. If he survives, he does not look great. He's a little brown. He's a little crispy. If the philodendron survives, he is staying in here full time because he is poisonous. The Hoya may leave when it gets bigger, and then this will be like a nursery for spider plants. There will, for the most part, be 2 to 3 plants in here at all times, with Skull Kid ideally in the middle. And I can't do anything that blocks sunlight. I do have a grow lamp for like darker days because these plants had a little bit of frost damage. But The thing that keeps coming to mind is this is Majora's Mask themed. Like, this is a Majora's Mask Skull Kid. But that scene from Ocarina of Time where you find a Skull Kid in the Lost Forest and he's like jumping between the logs. I want those logs. Not logs, stumps. I want to make stumps. 3 or 4. One, I think, will have holes for Skull Kid's feet pegs so that he can come off of the stand that he came with and be on that stump. And I have like a couple different ideas for the stumps that are varying in like difficulty and time. Because if I make one low poly, that is like the fastest print, and the closest to the source material. But it will take more texturing when I reach the painting phase. Or I teach myself texture mapping in Blender, and I have a very short tutorial saved that I have not gone through yet. And so we can learn texture mapping to make these stumps and then just like print them in a brown filament and do some dry brushing, and that's quick. But texture mapped anything in 3D printing like quadruples, pentuples the print time. And so it would go from like 3 or 4 hours to like 9. And so making that decision is part of today. I just need to decide what I think will look best. And ideally I learn texture mapping in Blender, but that's maybe a later thing. And other things to keep in mind. This will sometimes have my heating mat. So anything in here needs to handle temperatures of it's like 85 Fahrenheit. Can't block the light. Needs to fit in here with the top closing because I've got some big foliage chewing cats. This is a metal frame, so it is magnetic. It fell off, and I forgot to put it back on. I have like a little magnetic bat that sits here, so we could put stuff on the outside. I want to buy moss, but I always want to buy moss, so let's start in Tinkercad because I find it a lot easier to make things to size. So I have it in like a little personal Discord that I'm trying to not flash on stream. Do I have it in millimeters? Yes. Why did I measure this in inches? I don't know if I'm gonna make a moon. We're gonna think on that. Because there's not a lot of room. We could probably we could like cut it into like a slice and have some of the moon here. I think that would be cute. Though maybe someday I make a Majora's Mask moon nightlight. Okay, so the bottom of the greenhouse is 17.5 inches by 8.5, and I need that in millimeters. Oh, God. 444 and a half. And then... Raven, why are we crying? Whoops. Come on. You can be bigger than... Yeah. I have such a horrible time with my 3D prints and like making things to scale that I'm just gonna have a 3D model of the greenhouse that I can place my models in and like resize and stuff before I print them. And a bip. And this needs to be really skinny. Okay, and then the height is... It's 10 inches on the sides and 13 inches in the middle. Yeah, I've got that improvise, adapt, overcome shit with my dyscalculia. Oops. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be close. Okay. So these are essentially our dimensions. Raven, you just went out. What's up, honey? She's a little restless, and I don't know why. And now she's on the couch. She's almost 7. She should have a better idea of how often we go outside. Okay. Oh, I didn't measure fucking Skull Kid. Time to hit the blender button on my Stream Deck. That's a button I have. Hey, if we start to get like a little stressed out by this project, I did finally get Emote Lab, and we could do some custom textures in Emote Lab if we need something that's not this to work on. I don't know which one it is. Skull Kid figure. Whoops. It's... oh my god, there's so many with like... okay, he's the one that came with Majora's Mask on the 3DS. Oh, he's expensive. I need to be very careful. He's 14 centimeters. Yeah, I don't know. Ugh. I don't remember how to properly measure stuff in Blender. I don't remember, and I don't care to learn right now. So we're gonna add a cylinder. Whoops. That was not the right dimension. Oh dear. Does it seem right? I feel like that's too tall. He doesn't come up that high. Ah, whatever. It's fine. Whoops. Okay, well, this is our approximate skull kit. Okay. I feel like, oh my god, how do I turn off the draw distance in Blender? Yeah, and I'm thinking like a stump with roots, and then let's actually take a screenshot. Of this one. Oops. Okay. We're gonna want... Oh, yeah. I am hunting for a spirit right now. I did not draw that on a different layer. Okay. Stop. And then, like, I want decorative pots that I can just, like, put my little planter pots in. Like, around this size, maybe? And so I just, like, have similarly printed ones. It could just be the same fucking model, but this one is isn't hollow. Let's look at the scene from Ocarina of Time that I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's like these like, come on. Ugh. I don't know how to use Google. It's like these stumps. I would probably go slightly less slow poly. But I kind of like it. This might be better. And I can glue these little fronds to it. Yeah. Yeah, I think this might be good. And I'll just paint it like this. And I'll decide if I have the energy to figure out exactly where his foot pegs go. But he can stay on his stand, mostly so I don't lose the fucking stand. Okay, I think we'll... Yeah, I like the darker wood and the more greenery. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna bring that model back later. We'll make something and then we'll size it up as necessary. Yeah, you were telling me that it's like still in storage. I think this needs to be lower poly. Should I start with it? I don't know. That's... Honestly, I haven't been considering shit. There we go. That's the proportionate editing that I want. What does constant do? You notice the unsaved at the very top? Hey, Soot. I have this really big problem where I never like properly start a Blender file. I'll like work for an hour and then go, oh wait, shit. Stump dot blend. Thank you. It was just like an out of nowhere decision that we made while like trying to decide how we want to decorate this apartment. Oh, hydration today is a Wegmans brand cherry pomegranate sparkling water. And I've had this greenhouse for so long, and I've never done anything like really fun with it. But I've been looking at those people that like put a bunch of crap in their PCs, you know? And I'm like, I could do that with plants. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of smoothing, and we're gonna be so freaking gentle. We're gonna be so freaking gentle.
Okay, but can we stop modeling things and build me a new Cheeto-eating sub-basement? I need privacy when I crunch, thanks.
Oleander, you have the freaking supply closet. What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? I want this to not be a perfect circle. What do I need? I want it to stay flat, though. That I can figure out later. Let's... a little bit of some organic shapes. Okay, edit. What do I want to do? How do I want to do this? Let's save. So I think this is good enough for his stand. But we just want to get it to the right height. Okay, let's re-import the greenhouse. Okay. Whee! Okay. Yeah, it cannot be that wide, so we'll go like that. I should just save it separately. We'll do... Whoops. Save as stump. Okay. And then that's okay. And then we have room for 2 plants, maybe something in the middle. Just trying to write stand stump and combined the words into stamp. Okay. And then whoops. Oh. Just want to do this. Okay. Okay, and then we're just gonna fucking hollow this out, I guess. Whoops. There we go. Pull these out a little bit and then just the bottom of this, I guess. Oh, wait a second. Let's just... Oh, come on. Okay. And... oh, I can't keep these as organic as I want. There we go. Unfortunately, it must be a perfect circle to fit the shit I want in it. Hey, that looks nice from the outside. Yeah. Hot dumps. God. And now we're gonna open a third 3D modeling program because it's so much easier to measure shit in my slicer. Okay. Beep. Okay. One moment. I'm going to go measure my Hoya pot. Yeah. Okay, it's exactly 3.5 inches. Why didn't I measure that in millimeters? Okay. Let's just go for 90 millimeters. Yeah. Raven, what's up? Okay. So this is how big I'd have to pretend. I how bad would this be? Spirit City does not like me fucking around in Yuffie make. Okay, six hours. And it's 2 pots. I think that's fine. I'll just run it overnight. What's that line? What are you? Why is there a weird layer there? What happened? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, that's not bad at all. Okay. Pot stump. Done. Should I measure the height of the pot stump? Probably. Okay, and that's 3.5 inches. Should be taller. Fuck. Okay. How much time did that add? Ugh, half an hour. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Raven, is there something out there? Okay. Gonna send this to myself so I don't forget that that's my color reference. Okay. Okay, so I have the pots done. And this should just slide perfectly into that. And I won't need this Tupperware lid to catch the water anymore. The philodendron is gonna be its own issue. I might just paint this pot. It's quite old and I'm not a huge fan of it. So I might just paint this one because if it survives, it's not gonna like being repotted again. So let's... import. Import everything, honestly. Okay. I'm not mad at this. Okay. I'm gonna raise them up a little bit so there's no clipping. Okay. This one might have to just be bigger. Okay, yeah, the stumps can't get much bigger. I'm not mad at that though. Let's figure out the sticker situation for the front. And it's $17.5. And let's just set the height to like 6 inches. Okay. What do I have in the way of vegetation? Nah. We got this Spanish moss. brush. Honestly, if I could get my cutter to like cut out this texture and then paint, that wouldn't be bad at all. But let's look at something that might be easier on my Cricut. So everything in black I'll just be cutting out of like a white vinyl. No trees. Bad. Yeah, I think this is good. Just something like this. It doesn't have to be this textured. Okay, let's make a design document. Okay. There's... Hi, Seth. Thank you. I'm very excited. I really wanted to do like a greenhouse build for a while, but I never had any fucking ideas. And this was like, it was serendipitous. Placement. I love you too. Whoops. I want to have the transparency lines. That's why I'm doing this so weirdly. Okay. Vinyl. Oops. I think this is all we're gonna do for this project today. Because before we can do any more, I need to print the models. And set up the vinyl. We're gonna move on to something else for like another hour or so for stream. But the next time we return to Majora's greenhouse, it will probably be a face cam painting stream. I don't know how else to set up my webcam for that. Yeah, I think we're in a really good place for this. I'm gonna print I probably need to buy filament. I'm gonna try and print these guys over the next week, and then figure out a painting setup for this desk, because it already doesn't really fit all of my stuff, but I should be able to figure out webcam placement. But you may occasionally see my face. I'll have a little PNG too. So that should be fun.